Hi, I'm Bruce Palmer from the Reverse Pivot podcast. We've got a very special podcast today. It's from the Pete's Bar Luncheon down in Melbourne. Little story about Pete's Bar Luncheon. It started in 2010, and it's really one of the best basketball events in the annual calendar. On this occasion, on the 28th of November, 2025, 150 people came to the lunch at the Pullman Hotel to hear some great speakers and for a great cause. Every year they do this. They raise money for a given basketball entity. Sometimes it's teams, and in this occasion it was to raise money for the Geckos, which is our deaf women's national basketball team. Prior to the Pete's Bar Lunch kickoff, I had the chance to speak to the president of the Pete's Bar Luncheon Committee, Andy Blickoffs. How long has this been going on, Pete's Bar?
Our first luncheon was 2007. So it's about, I think this is the 19th event, although COVID stuffed it up a bit, so we had a webinar and 1 year we didn't do it. But it's the 19th event, yeah.
Okay, and what are we raising money for this year? Because you guys always raise money and give it to great basketball causes.
We do, but the fundraising is secondary. The prime aim of this is for people to get together and have a good time.
Right.
If we all have a good time, thumbs up, great event. But we any profits we try to make it go back to grassroots basketball. I think this year we'll have ended up giving about $46,000 away over the period of time to various causes, and this year we're supporting the Geckos basketball team, women's basketball team.
Great.
So, but fundraising is not the prime aim. The prime aim is to have people come along, have a good time.
And it's so good to see all these folks.
Yeah.
I bet you look back and see how many guys could not guard you in your prime, right?
Well, and the older I've got, the more guys there were.
That's right.
Yeah.
Andy, thank you
Thanks
so
very much, Bruce.
Good
Thanks for being here too.
With Casey Jones and Glenn Bynes, you don't mind being on the podcast, do you?
Not at all.
Glenn's on the committee. What is your title on the committee?
We don't really have titles. We're very egalitarian, so we all pitch in and do work together. Andy Blickoffs, he's the most oldest one, so he likes to have a title. So he's
We just had an interview with him. He was very generous with his time.
Was he?
Now, Casey, can we get Casey Jones in on this? One of the great Casey Jones. Came all the way out from California, Newport Beach, California to be here. Welcome, Case.
Thank you, Bruce. It's great to be here amongst all my old friends.
Now, you got to remind the viewers, right? The listeners, really. What year did you come out?
I came out in March 1980 and I was in basketball till about 86, 87, and then left the country in 91.
That's great, Casey. Thank you very much.
Nigel Purchase is my name. I've been hosting this event for feels like 100 years. I feel like Ricky Gervais, and they keep on inviting me back. I keep on mucking it up, but they keep on inviting me back. It's a great privilege for me to stand here today in what is a phenomenal room of basketball royalty, and I don't say that lightly. And I look around the room, and the people that are here today have been highly responsible for the success of Australian basketball. And we have some fantastic guests coming up for you today, which I'm excited to get them up here and have a bit of a chat. What an amazing year in basketball. Bendigo team won the WNBL, and the Warrick Hawks won the NBL. There's been so many good things going on overseas with our players. The sport in Victoria, I'm a bit Melbourne and Victoria centric, is going from strength to strength to strength. Part of some of the things I do, I did hosted an event for a Diamond Valley a few weeks ago, and we interviewed Kevin Sheedy and Jennie was there, and I said that basketball, the AFL is so big here in Victoria, but what a lot of people don't realise is that basketball is right there. We are a major sport here in Victoria. We have the greatest infrastructure for basketball in the world, with just under 1,100 indoor community courts. And nowhere in the world do they have those privileges. And it started with Lindsay Gaze and his vision from 100 years ago. It's been perpetuated by Basketball Victoria, who are here today. So please put your hands together for the people from Basketball Victoria.
We have Jennie Sager, new CEO of the WNBL.
So my wife and I watch a lot of the WNBL. We love it, and we've noticed some of the rebranding, the logo, and I'm not privy to the marketing plan as such, but it seems to me as a fan of the WNBL, you're trying to bring out the personalities or highlight the personalities of the players, and that seems to be quite evident. But what is the plan for the WNBL? Am I on task there as far as what's going on, and what is the overall plan for the league and the way it's perceived?
Yeah, that's part of the plan. I think overall, and everyone in this room knows this, like there's such an incredible history and legacy, and it's arguably Australia's most successful sport. And that story just hasn't been told. So the average person in Australia really can't name women's athletes, they can't name women's players in the WNBL, and they don't know that history. And so we have to really try to up-level the league and educate people on the history and the success and also that future success. And so that trickles down into everything we do, marketing, the brand story, getting the players out there and helping people find the thing about that athlete that resonates with them, where they're going to form that emotional connection and come back to the games time and time again, or watch on TV time and time again. And there's so much research, particularly in women's sport, where if they don't get just sucked in by stats and analytics, it's all about that connection with the player. So we've got to get those stories out there and build those connections, but then that also opens opportunities for the athletes themselves. And that's our other biggest priority, is making sure that, yes, the pathways to continue young girls playing are really important, and we're investing in that as well, but also investing in the athletes so that when they're coming to the end of their career, they have those opportunities. And, Lori is a great example. So happy to have her on our commentating panel. Alana's been commentating for us as well. And like any opportunity we can give them, but also training them in business skills, getting them those opportunities in the off season, just getting them out there with brands and building those ambassador relationships. And that's really important to us as well.
Back to you taking the job, it sounded like you had a fantastic career already in place. What was the catalyst for you wanting to take this on? Because professional sport at any level, whether it's men or women, is a challenge, as we know, and maybe marginally more difficult if that's not being solved for women's sport as well, because you have a few more issues to address. But what was the catalyst for you taking this on?
I think there were a couple things. Definitely the opportunity to make an impact, and I love, if you look at my career, I've worked with a lot of big global companies when they were nothing, when they had 2 or 3 employees, and you can see the challenge of blowing this up globally, and like, how do we make this succeed, and how do we grow this to something that people need in their everyday life, that they wake up every day and they go, I need the WNBL, I need to see what's happening, I need to see what that player's up to, I need to see who won that game, and that's business, right? And I've done that with other businesses time and time again, so that opportunity to drive that impact and just make sure that the WNBL is an essential piece of everyone's life is really important to me. And then there's the passion point, like that's just the passion for sport, the passion to give the athletes the recognition that they deserve, and the league the recognition that it deserves, and that's the piece that I think gets you up every day. And I'm really proud, we were talking about this before, that I've built a team of people who feel exactly the same way. They turn up to work every single day, and they just want to work their guts out to bring this league and the clubs and the athletes to the level that they deserve to be at.
The sport is being in a restructure. There was a little bit of toing and throwing, if I can put it that way, over the past 12 months. But I don't really understand the machinations of the league and how it's run, and where the responsibilities lie, and how Larry's involved, and how BA involved, or whatever it is. But how is the league structured at the moment? Because to me it's maybe a little bit confusing.
Yeah, so we have a different ownership structure from the NBL. So Willamite Capital Group, which is Robin Denholm's group, obviously also Hoops Capital related. So Hoops Capital owns the Kings of Plays, and that's also one of Robin's companies. So Willamite Capital Group is our majority shareholder. And then the NBL group, which is Larry's group, is underneath that. And then Basketball Australia also has a minority share in the league. So that's our ownership structure. On a day-to-day basis, what that looks like is we do have a WNBL dedicated staff, and they're spread across Sydney and Melbourne. But we also can tap into shared services with the NBL. And I think that's kind of the best of both worlds, because, typical women's sport, they have about 200 employees, we have 13. And 13 is still really big for women's sport, but it's really small comparatively.
The day that I arrived in Australia in 1977, we were teammates together with the Melbourne Tigers, but there's more, Glenn. We were coaching together when we won, when the North Melbourne Giants won their very first championship in 1989. I have a great coach, great friend, Glenn Bynes.
Bruce, you haven't said enough. There's not enough in the introduction.
Oh, there's more. I got more. I got more in the introduction. Glenn's also one of the committee members here of the Pete's Bar Luncheon. It's been going on 19 years. Tell me, you got to be impressed with how this has grown.
It's fantastic, Bruce. It has grown, and even just seeing the room today with a number of people, the people that are here, the people who are not basketball people who actually enjoy hearing about basketball. It's a great function. It really is, and we think, not that we're seeking the accolade, but we think it's the premier lunch for basketball in Australia. It's fantastic.
It is one of the best events of all of basketball, in my mind, because I looked through this crowd. What was our attendance today?
Well, originally we had 158 on our list, and I think we grew it a little bit at the last minute. So luckily we had some chairs left, and we had a few meals left over, so that was good.
Out of that 158, how many do you think I still owe money to?
Most. I think that's the reason they came. And so we had a few extras come along because they heard you were going to be here. But I think you'll find that there's a queue over there with they're expecting your checkbooks. They've got their swipers ready for you to swipe your card.
And the after function now, where are we going after this?
We're going to the Coppersmith Hotel in Clarendon Street in South Melbourne, and that's really the heart and soul of the function. We do this, we provide entertainment and great speakers, but getting back after and just saying how good we once were, with a lot of mayonnaise on it, is really good fun too.
Thank you, Glenn.
You are a legend in my lunchbox.
Thank you so much. Now, enjoy the interview with Ezzy Magbegor.
Our system is, in my opinion, our system is fantastic. We're fortunate to be engrossed in community basketball and being elevated to where you are today. But just please give us a few more minutes of your time and tell us your story from when you blocked 32 shots of race at the Coburg Stadium.
Firstly, thanks for having me, everyone. I started playing at Coburg, and I don't remember blocking Grace's shot, but I remember coming against Melbourne Tigers and bullying and being like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a long game, because we obviously, weren't as strong as those teams back then, but Coburg is where I started, and kind of just started under 12s and then played there until under 16s, and that's where I fell in love with the game, and where I met so many coaches and players that took a chance on me and were just really invested in my development and my growth. So credit to so many coaches. I'm going to forget names if I name everyone, but just, I don't know, Coburg has a special place in my heart, and just to be able to see the team, the WNBL team, just congrats to you guys. It's incredible to see you guys in the same room as me, because I definitely wouldn't be here without you guys. Just playing for Coburg and then going through the state programs, doing NICP and PP. I think there's a lot of different ones now that I think there's 3 or 4 of them now, but just going through those ranks and finding my way to Canberra, where I was at the Australian Institute of Sport. Just kind of taking steps up, and that's kind of how I've just driven my career, just taking it step by step and knowing, where I wanted to be, what I wanted to achieve, but just knowing that every step of the way was important, it was pivotal, not to rush the process, and just grateful to everyone that took a chance on me.
And your personality is what makes you so endearing to people. Obviously, we all love the way you play the game, but my impression of American women's basketball is very, abrupt, aggressive. I'm trying to think of the right words here. But for me, it seems to be adverse to your personality. You seem to be so nice. And how do you deal with that? Is it as bad as what I'm saying? Not bad. Is it as I'm saying, or how do you fit into that process in the league over there?
It definitely is, an adjustment, because I am not the most aggressive off the court, I think, but I think just being able to lean into that, and a lot of my assistant coaches in Seattle would always say an aggressive Ezzy is a dominant Ezzy, and so it's not a representation of how I am off the court, but basketball is an aggressive game, it is a fierce game, so just being able to lean into the aggression on the court. I feel like that helps my team as well. And then obviously I enjoy blocking shots, and so I feel like that is also a way I can get that aggression out. My teammates always say, you need to do something when you block a shot, like make a face, do the matumbo. It's like, I think one of my teammates, Jordan, I blocked someone and she came and pushed me, like got real high and pushed me like out of the court, out of bounds, and I was just like, why did you do that? Don't do that. So I don't know, I definitely know how much, I guess, like impact those possessions make, but I think it's just not very natural for me to react to them, but that's just my way of, I guess, showcasing the aggression and the dominance.
You're there's a bit of a changing the guard with the Boomers and some, the new players coming through. I kind of get the feeling it's the same with the Opals to a degree, where Lauren's days are over as far as playing for the country. Just talk to me about Lauren Jackson, because I know she's a great leader, not just on the court but off the court. And some of the leadership lessons you've got from maybe her and Jennie or whoever it may be, who you've played with over the years, have they set a standard for you as far as the way you represent yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely didn't think I was going to be able to play with Lauren in my career, but just to be able to play with her at the World Cup and the Olympics as well last year was incredible. And just aside from what she does on the court, just having her in the same room, on the same team, her impact was just immeasurable. And so she's just had a pretty big impact on obviously Australian basketball, women's basketball, but myself as well. And you mentioned Jennie as well. Jennie, I played with her for 2 years at Boomers, and her impact was incredible as well. And so I think just giving credit to the Opals, like I've been so grateful to just come into this program, and they've kind of taken me under their wing and just giving me the space and time to develop as a person, as a player. And I think that's just, it's not something that a lot of people get to experience all the time. And so you see what Algiers is doing now with She Groups of Basketball Australia and still having her impact in that way. And I think it's definitely important for people to still recognise her, acknowledge her, and know what she's done for basketball, and she's doing that.
The Opal schedule for the next, say, 3 years or 2.5 years, there's Worlds next year, and then off to LA in 28. What are your, you don't want to sort of, you don't seem like a person that's going to say, yeah, we're going to win gold, blah, 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 blah. But how do you feel about next year, and then moving into the LA Olympics? You feel with confidence with the Opals?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I obviously spoke to some of the ladies on that table, and they're actually going to Berlin for the World Cup next year, so hopefully it will be a great tournament there. But I just, as you said, there's so much development and talent coming up within the Opals program, and so just excited to kind of integrate them into the squad, as well as the squad that we already have as well. So just the talent in the WNBL, if you guys haven't watched the game, there's still so many games left in the season, which is great. So just being able to see that and showcase that, it's going to make it difficult for Sandy to pick a team of 12, which I think is really exciting because it just is a testament to the type of players that we have. But definitely stay tuned. We have a qualifying tournament in March in Turkey, and then World Cup in September. But obviously we're away for some of the and so the girls that went over to Asia Cup actually qualified for the World Cup already, and so that was a really big thing because we haven't. I don't think we beat Japan in years, or if at all, and so just to be able to do that was incredible. So yeah, just the talent that we have, no matter who is playing, everyone's ready to show up.
The skipper and an avid listener to the reverse pivot, right, Wayne?
The reverse pivot. Is that important?
Look, Wayne Carroll, the skipper of the North Melbourne Giants, and a great supporter of the sport, a great contributor to the sport. Wayne, how long have you been coming to this?
Since the start.
Have you missed any? You've been at every one, right?
Just about. There's a couple I missed for different reasons, but no, from the very start. Right. It was part of getting this going, because originally it was about us going to the World Masters.
Are you a committee member here too?
I was, but no longer.
Why were you kicked off?
Because when I went to Basketball Australia, it was a conflict of interest.
There are no conflict of interest in basketball, you said. No. This is great, mate. One of the best teammates I ever had. Am I on film too? Is this going to be one of the best teammates I've ever had?
Really? Why didn't you pass it to me?
That's when we played. When I coached you was a whole different story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My career could have been anything but in the toilet.
Thank you so much, Wayne. You're a good man. One of our Opal, BBA, WNBL championship player, Jan Smithwick. We've got a real special guest. We're doing a podcast. I do a podcast. Have you heard of it?
No.
Cut. It's called the Reverse Pivot.
Oh, okay.
I have one of the great figures in basketball. An Opal.
Yes.
Champion, what do we call ourselves here? It was a VBA champion, WNBL champion. I got a champion sitting next to me, an absolute treasure to the sport. And I think I missed you in here in 2019. You weren't here. And I put on a show.
I think I did see that.
Were you there?
Yes.
Oh.
It was a very funny Pete's Bar Luncheon.
It was, and it was off the cuff.
Yes.
It wasn't anything I scripted.
No, it was a very funny day.
But you've been supporting this virtually since the start, haven't you?
Most years, yeah. Yeah, most years we come along.
And I noticed that you got a whole table of ex-teammates. Is this a special occasion?
It is. It's 40 years since we won the national Coburg.
Benny Lewis at the helm?
No, Les Riddle was at the helm.
Les Riddle at the helm.
Yeah.
And why wasn't Les invited?
Well, he was invited, but he couldn't make it.
Congratulations, that's great. I bet there's some old stories there, right?
Well, while we were at Coburg, we did have a few coaches, including you.
I did. That was at the very start of my career, so forgive me if I didn't use you in the right way.
No, well, I think we started lots of people's careers.
We lost the state championship, and we lost the We lost to those bastards. No, they were good.
Well,
they were really good.
Yeah.
So one more time, maybe we can edit this in. So, have you ever heard of the Reverse Pivot podcast?
Yes, I have.
Good. And you'll be listening now?
I will be.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much. Give me a handful of knuckles. Good on you. Now, enjoy the interview with Warrick Giddey, father of Josh Giddey, and Darren Smith, father of Alana Smith.
It's funny, I've told the story to a few people, but when I was young, when Josh was young, when I first started coaching, I had a heavy emphasis on pass the ball, and it was really a selfish thing because I didn't want parents to go, I look at the coach and his son, he's a hog and he's not passing to anyone. So I made sure that number one, he was inclusive for his teammates, so otherwise he kept this right up his ass. And I made sure that he was a pass first sort of bloke, and really it was more about me, I think, selfish, I didn't want to bag for my son being a hog. So I was able to instill that in at a young age to bring people in. The other story I would say is when you come down on the tour line, you know your teammate can't pass and he's not going to be able to finish. Your decision is give him the ball. Irrespective if that's the right decision, you might get the right result. And like whistling, if it comes to the game, maybe you can off on this one. But I used to say that could be one day you come down, that's an NBL player, an NBA player that finishes with it done for you. So making the right decisions early, and I think that was a great lesson for him, and he's carried that on throughout his career where he tries to make people around him better rather than worrying about himself.
If it's okay with you, I'm super proud of him. I'm sure we're all super proud of him. The only team that I watch in the NBA is the Bulls. I think there's a lot of games where I don't think it's worthy of my time. But the way he plays the game is exceptional. And, for me, I think he's changed the way that Oklahoma play. When he came in there, his personality, the way he played the game, I think he changed. And I feel like that's changing with the Bulls as well, where everyone's sharing the ball. And I know you're a humble bloke, and you don't want to say too much of any great things about your kid, but do you feel that as well? And that when Josh went into those teams, it really changed the dynamics and the way they went about it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it goes way back, and a few of the coaches here, we talk about the shuffle offense, and I feel like the shuffle and a lot of the Australian offense is what they do is teach kids if you can't beat a kid one-on-one, these days I'm piss off, you can't play. But what about if I pass the ball to my teammate and make a cut off a centre and have a movement off the ball? There's other ways to score. So I think teaching those guys at a young age how to be able to score off the ball, how to be able to score from a screen roll, and passing cut, all those different situations obviously will teach you how to play the game and increase your skills when you get to the NBA and now you dribble 50 times not pass and you take a one-on-one to score because you have that ability. But I saw over the years when it came to Oklahoma and I thought the same thing. Players started really, let's move off the ball and be able to throw it to us. Cambridge Williams was one of the first blokes that got it and started moving. And you saw the out-bounce plays, blokes would be slipping cuts and things. So long as you kept your eye on him, there was a chance to come if your defence broke down. I remember one game he had 10 assists and Shady was actually out. And I reckon Shady was looking at it and saying, that looks pretty cool, pass the ball and get a lot of assists. He came out next game about 12 assists, probably the most he had in that first year. So I think it was contagious. Going to the Bulls, obviously the ball movement is great. I'm an advocate of ball movement and trusting the players. If I'm going to take a tough contested shot and I've got a teammate's open, I think that's a high percentage. And, so let's move the ball and get it to a better person in a better position. So I love the way that the Bulls are playing, they're trusting everyone, and I think I see very big similarities in these first 2 or 3 years at Oklahoma with this Bulls side. A lot of good 6-7 blokes, a lot of good guards and good players they're on the roster.
Daz, I talked to Ezzy. Is Ezzy gone? She's gone down to the watch. So I've never found Ezzy. She's just an absolute queen, and I love her. And just talked about her, it was fantastic. I asked Ezzy about Alana and her. She's at the very top of her game. She's doing amazing things on the global stage, but the pathway and her ascent to that wasn't always, easy. And so she's had a lot of perseverance placed in her, and must be proud of the fact of how she's persevered over the years.
What I'm probably appreciative of that journey is the fact that I think it could have been really easy for her. Coming from a basketball family, she was really tall, athletic, all these opportunities get laid out before her. And it could have been real simple, and she probably wouldn't have appreciated it as much. But with her, she had some really quite nasty injuries as a young female athlete coming through. Then getting delisted from WNBA teams, not making Opal's teams, things like that, and then really questioning what she was going to do with her career, and then just continuing to put her head down, keep working, not listen to what it annoys, and just having a goal and just getting there. So now that she's kind of getting some of the accolades and achievements that she was hoping for, I think she's just so much more appreciative of the journey, the people who have invested in her, her teammates and the opportunities. So it hasn't been a linear line always just to get from the beginning to now, but the journey's been really rewarding.
Next question for both of you guys is that one of the great things about life, I believe, is when you go and watch your kids play sport. And it can be under 12s, domestic, it could be by Lucy playing a Wednesday night at Bulleen, it could be whatever it is, but going and watching your kids play sport is one of the greatest enjoyments I get. I'm sure a lot of people here share that sentiment. When I watch Alana playing the WNBA, when I watch Josh playing for the Bulls or Oklahoma, I think to myself, how does Warriors feel? How does Daz feel when they're in the stands and you're seeing all of the entertainment, and you produce some lights out, and there's superstars front row and all this? How do you feel when you actually see that? There must be maybe a bit nervous about how they perform, but you must be extraordinarily proud of them to reach the pinnacle of the sport in the arguably the toughest league in the world.
I had an okay career playing. I think I was a good player, and I enjoyed that. But I get so much more satisfaction out of watching my kids' success. It's just amazing how much more I enjoy the game through the lens of watching them. So for those that have got kids, that are young and coming through and not having any kids yet, it's such a great experience to be able to share that thing that you were so passionate about a lot of my life, and to be able to share that with someone you love so much. And she trusts me. She calls me after games, and the coach said this, whatever. It's just such a rewarding journey to be able to go through that together. And when you get to these heights, and I don't know the $100 million man here, but to be able to go to the Olympics and WNBA finals and NCAA Final Fours and whatever. It's extraordinary. You sit there in the crowd and you think, holy shit, like this is like a kid from Warrick, to get here and do this kind of stuff. Like it's unreal.
Well, we're here with one of our guests from the Reverse Pivot, Andrew Johnson, who's also a committee member here with Pete's Bar Luncheon. Andrew, you got to be pleased with the growth of this.
Fantastic day, Bruce. Really, really enjoyed it. Great speakers. Had a great group, 130, 140 people. It just keeps growing. 18 editions in. I hope to be around to see what it's like 28 editions in.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. And the guest speakers that you guys get. I've had the pleasure in 2019. Nigel Purchase is another one that we've had on our podcast. But, mate, wasn't that great today?
Fantastic. Nige does a great job with it.
Doesn't he?
He's been around it for so long. I mean, when you think about it, he's back to 1984 in the NBL, so he knows everybody in this room.
Yeah.
Everybody immediately gets comfortable with him. Izzy Magbegor, we know, is a superstar of Australian basketball. She is the face of the Australian Opals and will be for the next 4 years, 5 years. Warrick Giddey, Darren Smith, both told some great stories about what it means to be the father of players doing great things overseas. As Darren Smith mentioned, I'm a young kid, I'm a guy from Nunawading who's grown up to do what I did in basketball. I've now got my daughter playing with the Minnesota Lynx, and not just playing, she's a star there.
She's a stud.
Legitimate star.
We were asking on our table, was she the Defensive Player of the Year?
Ezzy's been a Defensive Player of the Year before.
Okay.
So Ezzy has been around this now for, 6-7 years. I remember interviewing her as a 17-year. She was 17 back at the 2018 World Championships in Tenerife, Spain. And she was as composed then as a 17-year-old as what she is right now. It's unbelievable.
Mate, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for first coming on our podcast.
Loved it.
Thank you for this. This is, what I love it? Get to see you. I get to see Wayne Carroll. I get to see Brian Curl comes in, Pete Marshall, all these guys that I've grown up, competed against, right? And
That's
now
it.
see them contribute to the game is great.
There's some great heads when you look around this room. Right now I can see David Anderson over here on our right-hand side. Now, Dave Anderson may have carved out the greatest career overseas as an Australian basketball player.
Yeah.
Everywhere you travel around the world, and I was fortunate to do it with FIBA for many years, they want to know about Dave Anderson.
Right.
And what is it about Dave Anderson? Well, 2 words. He won. Everywhere he went. Dave Anderson, he won. You could ask anyone in this room, what did Dave Anderson do best? And everybody would have a thought on that. But in the end, he won. Everywhere he went.
Mate, you're a legend. Thank you, AJ.
Good stuff.
Good on you. We have now here Dom Lanassier. Did I pronounce that correct?
Yeah, mate, you got it. Yeah,
that's good, because it is French. The recently appointed general manager at Basketball Victoria, general manager of what branch?
Pathways, Bruce. So look after coach education, high performance athletes, and referee education.
Fantastic. So when we talk about Pathways, are we talking about the National Performance Program?
We are, yeah, absolutely. So working with our kids and our coaches to make sure that Boomers and Opals are coming with a heavy tinge of Victorian blue.
I often speak to Al Westover, who's been a guest on the Reverse Pivot, and there's no question, I live in Brisbane. We have no facilities. Yeah. You guys got a lot of facilities, but as Al says, there's still not enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's something along the lines of, we fall behind by 15 to 20 courts every year in terms of how many we need. The demand that our sport is growing. It's incredible to see what it looks like. We are spoiled with the facilities that we do have here in Victoria for sure, but it's certainly a continuing need and something that we appreciate everywhere around the place. Needs more courts, but it's great that basketball is that popular, right? That we are in that position to be in.
Mate, will you share some of your resources with a retired bloke that lives in Brisbane?
Anytime, Bruce. Anytime you want to be down here, Coach Palmer, we'll have you for sure, mate. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Tom.
No worries, mate. Good to see you.
Good man.
Cheers.
Good on you. I'm here with one of the all-time legend, great referees of Australian basketball, Ray Hunt. Welcome, Ray.
Thank you, Bruce. Nice to be here.
Now, do you ever listen to the Reverse Pivot podcast?
I do. I do listen to them. And there's no hecklers from the outside.
How many years did you referee in the NBL?
33.
Jeez Louise. Why did you give it away?
Too old.
Is that it?
No, it was... Look, I really enjoyed being involved, and I think it got down to the fitness test. Yeah. Like, we had to pass the fitness test as a group of referees, and the fitness test got harder and harder, and we never got compensation for age. And as you know, the VO2 max becomes harder and harder as you get older, and we never got a compensation for that. But look, 2012 was my last year, and I enjoyed that.
Didn't you referee education? Didn't you look after an association as well?
Yeah, I looked after quite a few associations as a referee's advisor, and Nunawading and Kilsyth, those sort of areas. And so yeah, that was always good. It was always nice to be involved in trying to develop referees to come through and hopefully get to the NBL level as well.
Yeah, good on you, mate. And you've been a big supporter of Pete's Bar's Luncheon. I see you. I've been, this is my fourth. Have you missed?
I haven't. No, I correct that. I have missed one 3 years ago when I did a Chris Anstey American NBA tour, which was really good. But yeah, I'm on the committee here. I'm now living on the Gold Coast, so I don't get to the committee meetings, but I have an input at some stage.
I didn't know you were on the committee, right?
I am on the committee. I am a life member of the Pete's Bar committee.
Good on you.
So, yeah.
Where on the Gold Coast do you live?
I'm in Miami now.
Okay.
Been up there a couple of years.
Are you going to pop in? They have the National High School Championships, both
I am.
Carrara and Coomera.
Yeah, I am. I am doing as a referee coach for the championships. So yeah, which is good. I still ref coach NBL 1 at the Gold Coast, and I'm still working in the NBL Replay Centre.
Okay. Ray Hunt, a legend. How many texts did you give me, Ray? Do you remember? There would have been one or two, dozen.
I don't think I've got enough fingers on my hands, Bruce, to show those. But the thing that I do remember was, Ray, why are you doing this to me?
Ray Hunt, thank you so much, Ray. Good on you, man. Thank you. First, Ron Bongetti, you've been you're a lifetime member of this organization. You've been on the committee since day one, am I right?
That's right. Yep, absolutely.
Right. The other thing that our listeners wouldn't be aware of, that you are a 5-time or 6 NBL champion.
No, 3 champion, 6-time grand final.
Well,
6 times in the grand final.
1 with North Melbourne, 2 with St Kilda.
84 runner-up with the Bullets.
Bullets.
85 Bullets championship. 86 Bullets runners-up. 87 Bullets beat Perth. 88 runners-up with the Giants. 89 we won the championship. And 90 we got the semi-finals. The only year I didn't make the grand final.
It's unbelievable.
Good fun. Had a lot of fun, mate. A lot of fun.
One of the all-time great administrators of...
It's nice of you to say that anyway.
Well, I did, and I was lucky because we got to work hand in hand.
One of my favourite stories was how you came to me and you said you couldn't keep doing what you were doing, working for the VBA, telling the referees how good they are during the week, and then the weekend abuse the Christ out of them, and you said, Bonzo, I can't keep doing this. I said, what's it going to cost me? And I remember it was about 36,000, 2 videos and a TV set.
That's right.
So I went to NEC, sold the sponsorship, 36,000, 2 TVs and a video, 2 videos and a TV set. and then went to the board and said, we're hiring Bruce full time. Can we afford that? I said, yeah, I've got the money, we're doing it. And that was it.
Good on
That's
you.
how you got to be a professional coach.
Oh, there you go. Listeners, you would not have known that. People have often written in, Bruce, who else do you owe money to? Ronnie.
So that's how that happened. It was good fun. We had a ball.
We had a ball, but you're one of the best administrators on that I've had the pleasure of working with. The league could use you still because you are sharp as a tack. You know about winning.
The thing about it is you got to get the right culture around the club, and we made sure it was fun. And everyone had fun. Everyone was respected. We feared no one, respected everyone. And that was my way of living life. So, and that's worked. It's been good.
All of that you put into us, the Giants, the same with the Bullets, you put into this. This is one of the greatest events on the basketball calendar, I reckon.
It's so casual. It's so good because it's so casual.
Yeah.
The way Nigel MCs it,
he's brilliant.
He takes a shit. He just takes a piss out of everyone, all of us, and we enjoy it. So it's all good, and that means everyone else has ball. The guests, we never get knocked back for guests. If we ask, because we're well respected, anyone we ask, they do it.
Yeah.
Simon Mitchell, when we were coach of the Phoenix, we just got the sack.
Right.
We had him and Mike Kelly, who replaced him. Right, we had those two, and Simon got up and said, I'm just honoured to be invited to be at this function.
Good on him. My legal representative, Cameron Groppy, did I pronounce that right?
Perfectly, Bruce.
It's not Gropey?
Definitely not Gropey anymore.
Solved a financial problem for me when I got unceremoniously fired by the Hunter Pirates. Have I ever thanked you? Because I know I never paid you.
No, it's great to see you back involved in basketball, though, Bruce, and that was the main thing.
When did you jump on the committee?
About 3 years ago. Funny story, Scott Del Zoppo, who you would remember, you coached him.
One of my favorite players.
We were heading to Mark Leader's funeral down at Geelong, and Zop's car broke down. And we were sitting at a petrol station about 10 k's from the funeral, and Zop wanted to watch it on the live stream, and I said, no, let's get an Uber. So we got to the Uber, got to the funeral, had to get Glenn Bynes, another good friend of yours, to drive us home. And by the time we got back to Melbourne, apparently I'd agreed to jump on the Pete Spa committee. Don't remember it, but I'm glad he asked me.
Yeah, mate, as I've told everybody, and I've spoke to just about the entire committee, it may be I know it's my favorite event on the basketball calendar.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even today, for the guests to come along, obviously they don't get paid, so for them to come along, give up their time, the basketball royalty in the room. I was saying to someone before, everyone just checks their egos out at the door. Maybe the egos come back at the after function. Perhaps you're allowed to embellish a little bit about how good you were all back then, but everyone's just here in the right spirit. Like Nige said, all the committee members pay for your own ticket, devote your own time. Nobody gets a dime out of it. We are able to give back, which is great.
That's great.
And a nice connection today where the Magbegor family were recipients of one of the giving backs about 10 years ago, maybe more. It's nice that then Hezzy was able to give back to the day, to the function. So nice little bit of synergy there.
Congratulations, Cam. You do a great job. And mate, are you still practicing law?
I'm still practicing. One day I'll get it right, Bruce.
You got it down. Thank you very much, Cameron Groppy. I think you guys all need to take the time, try to get behind this, support this completely, get on board for the 2026 Pete's Bar Luncheon.